In this lesson, we're going to look at reflecting points in graphs. Our objectives: understand how to reflect points, understand how to reflect graphs. Our vocabulary: reflection, creating a mirror image. So basically we're going to create a mirror image either vertically or horizontally. So reflection happens from basically turning your x or your y negative. There are other ways to do it too, but this is the main way. So what we're going to do is, first one, we're going to turn the x negative and see what type of reflection that is. So negative x means negative 1, y stays the same at 2, negative 3, 3, and negative 4, 0. So now I'm going to graph those 3 points. We're going to compare the parent and the image. Not the straightest lines there, but as you can see, it's been reflected on the y-axis. So this is a reflection across y-axis. Notice that changing the x to negative reflects it across the y-axis because you're changing the side of the y that you're going to be on. If we were on the right, we're now going to be on the left. Alright, let's look at another version of this. So I've got the same picture as before, but this time instead of turning the x negative, we're going to turn the y negative to look at this reflection. I'm sure many of you already know what type of reflection this is. This is going to be reflection across x-axis. Or the last one was across the y-axis, this one will be across the x-axis. Let's look at what that looks like. So this is going to be 1, negative 2, 3, negative 3, and 4, negative 0 is just 0, so we're going to leave it that way. So 1, negative 2, 3, negative 3, and 4, 0. Notice again, this has just been reflected across the x-axis. Basically, we're saying we want it on the other side of the x-axis, and that's why we change the y value to a negative here. Now we can do more than this. All we're focused on right now is the reflection, the reflecting. So what we have here is vertex form, and this is an absolute value equation. And I've got two versions, one with the negative on the outside, and one with the negative on the inside. This one is grouped with the x, so this would be reflection when it's grouped with the x. That would be across the y-axis. When it's away from the x, so it's not grouped with the x, notice it's outside, that would mean that it was talking about the y value being negative. So this is reflection across the x-axis. Now of these two, because it's absolute, this is the only one that actually changes the picture. This wouldn't change the picture at all because we've got both sides looking the same. But we can do both of these things if necessary. Let's also look at quadratics. So here we have vertex form of a quadratic equation. So in this quadratic equation, we have two situations. One where the negative is not grouped with the x, it's outside, and one where it is grouped with the x. So the one that's grouped with the x would be reflection across the y-axis, and this would be reflection across the x-axis. Okay, again, this one would actually look like something. Here's what it would kind of look like. So if we have a red will be my parent, say we have that for a quadratic, the image of it for this one right here would look something like that. Absolute value would be the same idea. Again, this is the one that actually does something. This one doesn't really do much, but we can do each of these. Okay, this has been looking at reflecting. If there's any part of this that you didn't get or you need to see again, make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch, and bring any of your questions to class. Thank you.